Hope you're all still awake. Late Night Mega here. And between parts, I got a fairy and changed clothes. Now, this is the Shadow Temple, and I'm actually coming to you in, well, what Dr. Novocaine would say is retrospect, meaning this is all post-commentary. You're also going to notice that the music is just a track of the Shadow Temple that I have running at the same time as well. Something weird happened with the audio here, so yeah, we're not going to get sound effects. You're not going to hear the menus or little other Zelda sound effects, whether it's me hitting enemies with the sword or getting key items and whatnot, or pushing the statue. So what had happened with the audio here, I should explain what's going on with the statue. You have to push it to the correct skull in order to get the gate to open. Yep, that gate. And you can use the lens of truth to see the real one that you're supposed to push it to. I believe it might be different every time. Or it might be the same, I don't know. So the Shadow Temple is pretty unique in the sense that we're actually going to pick up the map, compass, and key items all in this little, well, we get the compass a little bit later. I get a little bit confused here because I thought we were supposed to pick up the compass in this section. It turns out it's just the map and also the special item that we get for this dungeon. So we're going to get those things way up front in this temple, and then we have to travel through the whole rest of the temple to find the boss key and then the boss door. Kind of an interesting design, kind of different. You know, it's something that I wouldn't want to see in every Zelda dungeon, but it's kind of a refreshing change of pace here. And so we go into this room. This is the room where we're going to get the map. So what had happened with the audio is, I'm not entirely sure, but it only happened with the parts recording for the Shadow Temple. And so I'm guessing this happened all in one recording session. And I remember there was a session where I found like the jack to the mic slightly unplugged, but I noticed when I was doing the recording that it was still showing that it was getting sound and all that. So I didn't think anything of it, and I actually thought we were past the point in where this would happen, but I guess it happened during the Shadow Temple. At least that's what I'm thinking at this point. And so the audio was completely warped. Like, my voice, it sounded like the whole thing was being played from the bottom of a deep well, as ironic as that is, since we're using the lens of truth here, and this is a Shadow Temple. So yeah, it's nothing spooky about the Shadow Temple itself, it's just something that kind of happened. And so this is me wandering around, looking for the compass. I'm looking for the compass in this section because I know the next section is going to contain the key item. So yeah, I kind of wander around a bit, use the lens, just really make sure that I get everything here. Overall, this isn't an awful dungeon. I kind of like its design. It's got some interesting and unique puzzles, but it's not like super cryptic. Oh, we battled this guy again. We don't have mini-boss music for him. I don't know if I'm going to get that advanced. I don't think we're going to have boss music for the boss of the Shadow Temple either. So yeah, I'm just getting his attention. The hands in this one, the grabby hands, they're closer to us. They're closer around in a circle than they were in the bottom of the well fight. So we slash his face a few times. He wanders off. I'm wondering why he doesn't just appear. Turns out you have to let the hand grab you after he's gone down completely, and then he'll emerge again. So yeah, you just wait for him to lower his face, and oh look, he's dead. Not too much of a challenge, but kind of a fitting mini-boss, because it kind of ties together, you know, this section, or the Shadow Temple with the bottom of the well, And so I thought that was a nice thing to see him again. And for that, we get the hover boots. Now, the hover boots are kind of an interesting item. They make you kind of slip around a lot. You don't have a lot of traction, but hover boots do have a neat effect. They let you, well, hover across the air for a very short period of time. But in some places, it's like just enough time, and we need that to get over to where the gate is that we opened up by pushing the statue. So yeah, I think I'm going to spend a little bit more time here wandering around looking for the compass that we're not going to find, and then I made some commentary about, well, why didn't we find the compass? And I went back into this room for some unknown reason. I don't know, it's been a while. It's, by the time I'm recording this audio, I have long since finished my recording of this game. And so we'll go to the menu. It works kind of like the iron boots. Now, when I first got these, when I first played this game as a kid, I wore the hover boots everywhere and for everything. And I generally didn't take them off unless I absolutely had to. And playing it older now, I kind of want to take them off because I don't really like sliding around as much. Although the hover feature can be useful in other areas, just random usefulness, not so much as a required item to get. So yeah, it can sometimes save you. It can help you stay on small platforms while also sliding off of them at the same time. So yeah, I do take them off soon because I don't like not having perfect control over my character. I think this is where I've decided enough of the sliding around. And I decided to get fancy with the fire arrows, since I know in other Zelda games and some fan-made Zelda games, hitting one of these mummies with fire attack, whether it's fire arrows or something, it will just like light into flames and die right away. But that doesn't happen here. But I thought I'd try it anyways, just because, well, I don't want to risk getting too close to them if I don't have to. But the best strategy for that is to get behind them and stab them repeatedly so they don't jump on you and grab you and drain you of your health, because that's not really a good thing to be happening to you when you only have 3 hearts. And I mean, I guess as far as the audio goes, the other way I could have fixed this would be to, well, replay the entire game on a minimalist run up to this point and then just re-record the Shadow Temple. And realistically, I could probably do this before you guys see this video. I think I've just uploaded like the last of the bottom of the well part as the time I'm recording this audio for this. So yeah, here we can't really do much. We see that will be a shortcut that we can open up later, and we see a glimpse of things to come later on in the temple. But I do want to be thorough around this area, just because I do get kind of annoyed, and I do tend to like miss one thing or miss one key or something somewhere, and then have to like backtrack and try to find it. So I want to make sure that doesn't happen in this playthrough. And so this is a room where we have to collect all of these silver coins. We have the double Grim Reaper thing. A nice touch for the Shadow Temple. We're also going to see that there's a lot of treasures in the Shadow Temple that just aren't really worthwhile. There's a lot of treasures that are like, oh, 5 rupees, oh, here's some bombs. Things you don't really need. I'm going to take all kinds of damage here. get hit by 3 giant swinging scythes, and still have 2 of my 3 hearts left. Awesome. So we come up here, pretend there's a bomb explosion sound effect, and pretend it's there again. And then, well, I slash the wall. You can't hear the sound effects, but it makes the clinging of the special clinging. I was showing that off. I knew it needed to be bombed. I wanted to show you guys that it sounds different when you hit a wall with your sword that you can bomb. And, well, you don't get to see that here. Just take my word for it. It sounds different. Noticeably different. I use the hook shot to kill these spiders. Not something we can do as a kid. I still end up getting hit by 2 of them, and at this point, well, you can be thankful that there's no 1 heart low life beeping, because that's going to continue for a little while here. And so now I'm being extra careful and taking my time because, well, I don't want to die off, and I wish that guy had brought a heart. Thought I was going to get hit there. I don't know why I didn't. That was interesting. And now we have to watch for the shadows of monsters. At least we don't have to hear Navi's voice in this. So that's a positive, right? So we come over to, this is kind of one of the big main rooms. I decided to, well, go ahead and get rid of the giant hand before trying to deal with other stuff. But this section isn't too difficult, and it's kind of designed for the hover boots. And I take another hit there, so we're going to make this really intense. And we get on this platform where we fight a Stalfos. I'm not sure how I didn't die there. Well, I still have a fairy, so I wouldn't technically die, but I don't really want to be using the fairy. And I think, yep, something funny happens with the Stalfos. It goes down the hole, and that's something you can do with the Stalfos. There's only a couple spots in the game where that's a relevant tactic against them, and that's one of them, so I was glad I got to show that off. And this room, this is an interesting room because, well, you use the Lens of Truth and you can see the Grim Reapers coming after us again. So I'm going to take off the hover boots, and we're going to be extra careful. And just keep in mind, this whole time, the low heart thing would be beeping. So I have saved you guys from that. Well, technically I didn't, because my intention was to show it off. Hey, we get a heart. So now you can pretend that the low heart beeping has finally stopped. And I believe this is a kill all enemies room. At least I wanted all enemies to be dead anyways, just because I was on low health. And, well, hey, guess what? The 1 heart beeping is back. And we lost our proper shield. So we're going to pick up our proper shield, and we're going to put it back on. But we're going to get hit by the invisible Grim Reapers. Invisible Grim Reapers, that sounds like something you don't really want to deal with. Good thing they're just statues here. And I believe this is a place where you can play the Song of Time to get a block to appear. Yep, because I saw those hearts there, and I wanted them for obvious reasons. So we get the heart, and then I look at the time, and I kind of see that I just want to finish up this room, and this bat is going to be difficult. This bat is the bane of my existence. Imagine a bunch of hookshot sounds over and over. And there's another heart, and so we're going to go into this gate here. And there's the gold Skulltula. I don't like hearing him, so I take him out. Not that you guys can hear him. And this is where we get a little bit tricky here, because there's a hidden treasure chest. You can see it with the compass, so it's really good to have the compass in this, so you know that there is a treasure there, and then you can use your lens to get it. But alas, the treasures weren't really that good. And I just take some damage just because, and this is about where I cut it off to the next part.